Good evening and welcome back. I'm Teddy, and you are listening to Night Talk. So go ahead, grab a glass of, I don't know, I have my Gatorade, but you can grab a glass of wine or tea or whatever and join me for a few minutes because tonight it's D for Defiance. Analyze this mess because someone, somebody, anybody, well, I have to say it. Shout out to the mob, all my other bears, like all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please hit the like on your way in. So let me get into it. Defiance. Yes, tonight's segment is called Defiance. Now, wait a minute. What do I hear upstairs? Seems like I hear something. Okay. Defiance, not the reckless kind, no, not the petty kind, but the righteous kind, the kind that rises when someone tries to silence your truth, rewrite your story, or twist the facts to serve their fiction. Defiance is what happens when you've been pushed, disrespected, lied on, and you still show up clear headed, unbought, and unbothered. D for Defiance is about keeping your voice firm when they want you to tremble or they want to hear the tremble in your voice. It's about answering schemes with strategy and intimidation with integrity. Some will call it stubborn, some will call it pride, but for me, it's protection, it's power, and it's proof that I know who I am. Yeah. And I won't be moved by games, guilt trips, or gaslighting. Let tonight serve as a reminder. Mhm. I don't have to, or I don't owe any compliance to the chaos. I owe it to myself to stand in truth and unshaken. So you might wonder, what is that? That would be an old fashioned tape recording device. Some of you probably have never even seen it, but what you heard was the sound of rewind the tape. Oh, you like that? So you can get a big, nice picture of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rewind, somebody said. The beautiful bean footage, Teddy. Her rip running receipts. Shout out to my moderators, Vicky Black and Baby Juju. Yes, you can email me right now at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. Yes, that's one of those real to real. That's right. You got it right. Recorders, devices. Yeah, you know, actually, there are tape recordings still in existence. I'm sure, just like that, and they probably work just fine. hmm But with technology, who needs tapes? But I thought, yeah, I like things that are vintage. Wait a minute. I have, when I stopped earlier, I said, what is that? I have the news on upstairs. So there's been a lot of news today, but let me remain focused. And I keep hearing like breaking news or something like this or that. Okay. But yes, I thought I'd find a little meme. Reading between the lines. Yes. Mhm. Yes. Yeah. I've listened to a little bit of some tape today. But anyway, let me stay on point with D for defiance, and then maybe part two of this short broadcast up until 11. I'm going to try it again tonight. All right. Keep it to 35 minutes or so. But I chose D for defiance tonight because it's standing firm. It does not mean you're being combative. No, it just means you refuse to be manipulated. Yes. Defiance is not disrespect. No. There's a lot out here going on, but I'm going to stand firm. Again, that doesn't mean combative. It just means I refuse to be manipulated. Defiance also protects boundaries. When others push past decency or legality, defiance draws the line they can't cross. Defiance means showing up even when they try to wear you down with confusion, delay, or deceit. You still deliver the truth. Just hold on to it. Defiance disarms the disingenuous. That's like 3 Ds. D for defiance, D for disarm, and D for disingenuous. Their whole play depends on you crumbling, me crumbling. No, I plan to remain calm. Just stay calm. And fact based, it really undoes their power. Defiance isn't loud, but it's clear. You don't have to scream, just speak with conviction and let the facts speak even louder. Defiance rejects guilt trips. No matter how sad the story or strategic the sympathy, you're not required to absorb blame for what's false. Read between the lines. You know, that tape might. Let me just put this up because that might be a little movement for some. I'll just do that. Yeah. I don't have to. It's not required to absorb blame for what's false, untrue. No. Defiance keeps receipts. Mhm. It's not paranoia, it's preparation. Defiance means documenting what others try to hide or rewrite. Defiance keeps one professional. When they get messy, you stay measured. Let the contrast expose the truth. Defiance doesn't chase, it chooses. You don't follow distractions, you follow the facts, the law, and your purpose. My purpose. Defiance inspires others to stand up too. When people see you standing tall, especially in the storm, it gives them courage to do the same. So I'm going to stand up, even in the storm. Now, you've been in a storm before, in a real one, rain or thunder and storm. You know what it feels like. The wind is blowing and it can, vary in the speed. Some storms can be rather violent. So I just have to, batten down the hatches, right? Make sure I have the storm windows locked. Yeah. And ride the storm out. Ride the storm out. I see a comment, measured versus messy. Yes, let me take this down. Let's do this. Measured versus messy. That's a good point. Yes. That part. defiance, standing up, sometimes defying all odds. Yeah, defiance. Standing, standing, and still standing. I can just come on and say that. I don't have to say very much tonight. I could get into some things, but I won't. No. Yeah. I wanted to come on and give another D word while I wait. Yeah. That word I chose tonight. So, who's joining me? I see Gia, Baby Juju, It's Not Me, Vicky Black, um, Joanne at the top. Let me go all the way to the top. And yes, follow me on all social media. I said I was going to get over to Run Tell That too. I haven't been over there this week. I haven't been over there in some time. Definitely need to do that. Yeah. Unshaken. Some people say I'm bothered. I don't use that much. I use the word tonight in relationship to, you know, defiance. Um, hmm. Remember the commercial? Never let them see you sweat. That was an effective commercial. It had to do with, I believe, deodorant. Yeah. And I think because of it, probably whatever company it was, they made their point. Yeah. Well, so I was also in relationship to that. Never let them see you sweat. Do you know that animals can smell fear? Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's that, nature's instinct, like the prey and the predator in the animal kingdom. Let me see what I can look up. Again, you just never know what you're going to get on Analyze This Mess or Unwind with Teddy. Let's see. Let me look something up. Depending on what it returns, I will tell you how I asked the question. Let's see. Number one, certain animals are known to detect fear related changes in other animals or humans. And they do it primarily through chemical cues like sweat or pheromones. So, dogs. Dogs are probably the best known animals for smelling fear. So, we'll learn something tonight. How about that? They have around 300 million scent receptors. 300 million compared to humans, which only have 5 million. Well, 5 million compared to 300 million. So dogs can detect changes in the human bodies associated with stress, mhm, and release of, cortisol and adrenaline. That's probably one of the reasons, and I'm thinking about it now, why it's not a bad idea to have a dog. Some people need dogs for protection or for assistance or that. Um, you know, because dogs can really sense and smell. You know, wow. There are other animals, but dogs, yeah. Studies show they respond differently to sweat samples from anxious people versus calm people. So I've always wondered, and I don't know, but some dogs, you'll see a person and they'll start barking, or and others, the same dog, and it could be a stranger. Yeah, I've observed that. You know, they might be more calm around certain people. Yeah. Maybe it is that, you know, sense of anxiousness or calm. Mhm. Horses. Horses are highly sensitive to human emotional states and body language. They respond to voice tone, posture, and even heart rate. So, researchers suggest they can detect subtle scents associated with fear. Mm. Have you ever rode a horse, horseback? Yeah. I remember the first time I did. I was in Arizona. That's where it was. Yeah. And I was out with a group of people, you know, horseback riding. And I had never, um, you know, ridden a horse before. So, of course, for someone who's not experienced and they take these groups out, they have, different horses that they assign depending on your experience. So I got a nice, I guess, a calm horse, and I was calm too. And it was enjoyable, yeah. But, I had an experienced person, leading. Um, but yes, horses can detect fear. Cats, if you're a cat person, uh, less studied than dogs, but cats are attuned to changes in mood and tension in their environment. They may not smell fear the way dogs do, but they can sense distress through scent and energy. Hmm. Two more. Sharks. Sharks can detect minute amounts of blood or bodily fluids in water. While they don't specifically smell fear, they may sense stress hormones released into the water by prey. And one more, wolves and other predators. Wild predators often pick up on the behavior, scent, or posture of frightened animals. Fear causes sweating and changes in behavior cues predators learn to exploit. So now you might have a question, and I had a question. Can humans sense fear like animals? Now, I see the answer to it, but I'm going to ask you what you think before I give the answer. Can humans detect or sense fear like animals? What do you think? And I see a few more of you coming in. Welcome to Analyze This Mess. We talked about DForDefiance. Now I'm on to something a little different. Yes. So Vicky Black seems to think, yes. Is there anyone else? Oh, yes. Um, I see something above there. Some can detect illness. They absolutely. Dogs? Yes, they can. They can. Mhm. Baby Juju says, in certain ways, yes. Can humans sense fear like animals? Mhm. Before I read, It's Not Me says yes. Bless says yes. I think so too. Okay. But let's go to the answer here. Humans don't smell fear in the animal sense, but we do pick up on emotional cues, often subconsciously. So, sweat and chemical signals. Studies show that humans can detect emotional sweat. Fear based sweat has a different composition. People exposed to sweat from scared individuals show increased activities in their amygdala. That's the brain's fear center. Mhm. Two, body language and micro expressions. I've heard that term before. We're wired to notice small changes in facial expressions, posture, or voice that signal fear or stress. So I know you've been, you know, around someone and you've been able to pick up on that signal. Mhm. By looking at their facial expression or even listening to the tone of their voice. Some people, especially empaths, they call them, or trauma survivors, become highly tuned to these signals. Hmm. Then there's the gut feelings. Yeah, I go by my gut feelings. What we call intuition is often the brain's processing tiny nonverbal cues from others. This is the part of the human survival mechanism, just more subtle than a dog's. So, animals like dogs, horses, and sharks can pick up on fear. They do it chemically. Humans can't smell fear in the same way, but we can sense it through a mix of scent, visual cues, tone, and gut instincts. So now I could think of another D. It would be D for detection. D for detection. Like, what can you pick up on? So you're all correct. Mhm. We just do it differently. And yes, body language is one of the biggest cues. Yeah. Expression, facial expression, body language, without even speaking, right? Baby Juju says, I also believe that gut feeling is the Holy Spirit speaking. Mhm. Some people say that. Some people say their inner voice, spirit, yes. Mhm. Mm. Yeah, sometimes we just have to, yeah, meditate or be silent and listen to that inner voice. But you know what? The gut speaks. You get that feeling. Yeah. And it just automatically, just something. And I've been getting that lately. When just something feels amiss. Not right. Yeah. So, D for defiance as we approach the 11 o'clock hour. Do I have? Yes, I do have music on in the background. Hmm. As I take a deep breath. Yeah. And release. I'm smiling for some reason. Um, well, I know. I've had a I've had a pretty good day. I have. Mm. It started it started rather early. Yeah, it did. And I got out, made several stops today. Yeah, I did. For a weekend. But tomorrow's Sunday. And yeah, maybe I can come back in the morning like I've been doing, for the most part. Uh, and play a little gospel music. Uh, I usually play music for about a half an hour to 45 minutes. So I'll try to do the same and combine it with a little news and talk. Yeah. I know tomorrow is Father's Day. It is. Yes, someone mentioned it again to me today. Yeah. Although my father is no longer living, I have other family members and people that I know who are fathers. Yeah. So, and um, uncles and, just different relatives. So, yeah. Father's Day. Yeah. I'll definitely give some greetings to some fathers that I know. And for those of you who have your father, your biological father, maybe he's still living. Yeah. Enjoy the Sunday part of it. with your father if they're close by. Yeah. Thank you. It's always a blessing when you play gospel music. You say it encourages you. It encourages me too. Yeah. So, that being said, I think I'm going to wrap it up right here. Let me take a look. My email is good. Earlier, I had a few emails. So, thanks to those of you who do send me, uh, uh, you know, sometimes questions, sometimes just greetings. I appreciate it. All of it. But now it's time to say goodnight. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. Please hit the like on your way out. I hope you have a peaceful night's rest. Yeah, but that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night.